Good afternoon, folks. Todd here with Prepare, Respond, Recover. As we enter into this second episode, if you caught the first episode, I sat down with Todd. We were talking about the heck of a year that we've had so far. And in my travels over the last 10 days, I was thinking about some of the concepts that we talk about in class quite a bit, whether that be in an ICS class or some of the more advanced classes, and that's how do you manage by objectives and truly get into that mode of what needs to be done. So for me, I was in New Orleans a couple of weeks ago. It was after they'd had the terrorist attack, after they'd had the Sugar Bowl, but before they were getting ready for the big game. In the midst of that time frame, they had unprecedented winter weather to the point as a state they had to borrow snowplows from other states and then still be ready for that large event at the end of January. Actually, and then ended up in Philadelphia on big game day. The Eagles triumphed and won, and of course that put that city into a pretty significant mode of celebration. A planned celebration in about 5 days after the big win that resulted in 1 million plus folks who ended up downtown. They had an event in the middle of their celebration. If you remember, they'd also had a plane crash subsequently about a week before they had the big game.
If you'd like to see more on Prepare, Respond, Recover, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Now back to the podcast.
So it just got me thinking about management by objectives, how much we talk about it in various classes that are out there, but there definitely is a difference in a crisis management objective versus a consequence management objective versus a planned event objective. In all three cases, we know we want to have them SMART if possible. SMART, specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-sensitive. But they will have to sometimes intersect with other objectives that are out there, different management organizations, maybe handling different components of what is going on out there in the field. In the case of the big game, they also had a presidential visit in the middle of that. So if you really think about those various aspects, a planned event that you know is coming for years, an unplanned event that is really a weather event, other unplanned events that are intentional acts, we have to now really think about how do we break down those various objectives and why is it so important that we have SMART objectives. The reasoning is the management organization, whether it's a single organization or it's maybe in an emergency operations center, it has to understand what it's doing at any given time, and the full organization has to understand what it's doing at any given time. If you have multiple organizations that are trying to interface, believe it or not, it's even that much more important that we have those SMART objectives and that it is clearly defined and then pushed down and turned into strategies and tactics. In the case of both New Orleans and Philadelphia, these are pretty robust cities with a lot of resources. And when we have a lot of resources, there's that tendency to just use that mindset. Let's just hit it with resources. But when there are so many intersecting factors, that's where I think the management concepts and techniques that need to be used are the ones that are literally right out of the book. So I just wanted to take a few minutes to illustrate that and give you a few ideas as you move forward in whatever you have going on in your jurisdiction, whether you have something that's planned or something that's unplanned. Always remember to go back to one of those 14 features. I always say, anybody that's ever been in my class has heard me say, I think it's the most important of the 14 features, that management by objectives feature. We look forward to talking to you again soon, and we'll see you on the big one.
Prepare, Respond, Recover is brought to you by EMN Media, with Todd DeBow as executive producer, Todd Mans as a host, Jill Filer as a video editor, and myself, Donna Whitcomb, with voiceover. See you next week for another exciting episode of Prepare, Respond, Recover.